the 4PF label titled By Myself, which is almost at 3 million views today, receiving great feedback from this song, with fans telling him that his career was about to take off, and rightfully so, because it was certainly looking that way.
But I ain't gonna count, bro. Out of everybody that Baby done signed, besides Rollo, I don't feel like Rollo count. There's nobody I feel like could have really did it and really went somewhere like Lil Kee. Like, alright, man, what it do, YouTube? It's your boy Kee coming at y'all boys with a brand new video, and today we're gonna be getting into the dark backstory of Lil Kee, putting everybody I knew on to Lil Kee. Then the nigga like disappeared. We might be getting into the details of that, everything that was going on with that. So with that being said, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Get in that comment box, tell me how you felt about this video. Go ahead, get into it.
Seen what pain could really do to a person,
like or
in this case, an upcoming superstar.
What can you tell us about your brother Lamar?
Yeah, nah, look at him. Damn.
What's funny, nigga? I shoot you on your shit, you yeah, rich queen. Yeah, I'm talking to you, rich queen. I shoot you on your shit, boy.
In this video, we're going to be covering Lil Kee and his career thus far.
God damn.
Don't tell me lies, bro. Don't tell me lies.
Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Tell me lies. Like, this nigga hard, bro. This nigga is so hard. Pause. And the fact that he didn't live up to his potential, especially after signing to Lil Baby, which I ain't gonna cap, bro. It's a good look in the city, but as like a business move, I don't understand why artists sign to other artists, especially people who are still rapping. They're so busy. Like, they ain't got no time to be worried about you, bro. This shit like a scary movie, nigga. This shit, you me the chills. What the hell? Who do you think he is?
Keontae Miles, better known as Lil Kee, was born in Pritchard, Alabama, a very small city with the population being around 19,000 people, and with a quick search you'll find that it's a quite dangerous city, with a higher crime rate than 81% of Alabama's other cities and towns. But Kee wouldn't stay in Pritchard, as he'd explained that he left there when he was in 3rd grade and moved to Marietta, Georgia.
Did you grow up there or did you grow up here in Atlanta?
I grew up here. I moved up here about 3rd grade.
Okay. What part of Atlanta did you move to?
Marietta.
Okay.
I'll be everywhere though.
Marietta is a city located in Georgia's Cobb County.
But look though, I was about to say, nobody who's from the area wants to actually say where they from. It's a crazy thing. Like, this has to be a thing of big cities, other big cities too. But if you're not born in the city limits, everybody just be like, oh yeah, I'm from Atlanta. But they'll be from Cobb County, they'll be from DeKalb County. Like, and there's nothing wrong with it, you know what I'm saying? But hey man, be proud of where you from.
Suburb 15 miles northwest of Atlanta, meaning it's located right on the outskirts and has a fairly small population compared to the major city. Marietta also has a reputation of being a safer place to live, with an almost 50% difference in the crime rate per year compared to Atlanta. Kee grew up in a household with 7 brothers and sisters and got into the streets early, claiming he jumped off the porch at just 13 years old with the help of his older brothers.
At what age would you say you jumped off the porch?
I always knew what was going on. Shit, about 13, 14. I already knew what was going on.
It's like a darkness.
So when you jumped off the porch, did your older brothers, they kind of help guide you? Teach you what not to do?
My big brother know that.
He also obtained the nickname Lil Kee at a young age, as he could be seen on his old Facebook account back in 2012 when he was around 10 years old, posing in a photo with the now stage name written on his picture. He seemingly had a real fondness toward Chicago drill music growing up as well, as he could be seen striking poses like Chief Keef, and even naming his old account after the infamous Chicago gang, O Block, followed by the popularized Chief Keef ad-lib, Bang Bang. Kee grew up along Favor Road in Marietta, this road being one of the very few most dangerous areas in Cobb County. Favor Road is also known for poverty. When being compared to parts like East Cobb, it's a completely different way of living. He attended Osborne High School, which is also located on Favor Road, where he would play point guard for the school's basketball team up until 2017 before dropping out from school completely as well in 2017. Playing his last game in February of that year, he eventually spoke about this on his song, I Hate Pain, where he states that he dropped out in 9th grade because he couldn't pass due to his teachers hating on him, also stating that he never went to class and was more frequently on police chases, showing that even as a kid growing up, he always had one foot in the streets. Growing up in the dangerous area whilst in poverty would make the streets become Kee's way of life. A sad story that we see every day in young men coming out of the trenches in any city. Kee would eventually become a part of the payroll clique, also known as K4T or Kill for Tana, at a young age that consists of different sets, but most notably they consisted of friends and brothers that grew up together. Or at least at first they did. But we'll get deeper into that topic later in the video.
Okay, so before we get into this, so basically to sum it all up, nigga grew up broke, poverty, and I think he said his parents was on drugs or something like that. And I ain't gonna count though, that area over there, Favorite Road, you know what I'm saying, is like the trenches, but like I think for the most part, I think Osborne though is like a good school.
As it's a very important part of his story. For now we have to look at what actually started this story, or more specifically, what started Lil Kee's music career and how he blew up seemingly overnight, causing a string of events that led to the outcome we see today. While he got into the streets at a young age, it wouldn't be till later in his life that Kee started making music. He would say that music came natural to him, and his big brother Meech helped him write some of his early songs.
It was slick and natural, but my other big brother would help me, Meech.
Yeah.
He would help me write that shit.
He wouldn't be wrong about music coming natural to him though, because Kee's music career was a real quick success as he would release his first song in November 2019 titled Swing My Way, which currently sits at 194,000 views. He would also release another song in 2019 titled Make It Out, where he speaks about wanting to make it out of his current situation and get rich to take care of his family. He would state in this song, "Lil Bam died, my girl came, everything changed," referring to his cousin Bam in Alabama who passed away. This tragic loss being a very important part of Kee's story, because months before he started making music on January 5, 2019, Pritchard, Alabama police responded to 521 East Elm Street in reports of a man being shot. Upon arrival, officers observed a black male victim on the ground with gunshot wounds.
Bro,
this man would later be identified as
the voice on this shit is like, it makes it just more sinister. Like, I know he's going for like that dark story feel, but nigga, he nailed it. Like, even how he's conveying the details, like, this nigga did a really good job with this video,
Nichols,
bro.
also known as Bam, Lil Kee's cousin.
Damn.
Bam would be treated by EMS personnel when he would soon be pronounced deceased on the scene. News reporting on this incident showed a chaotic scene, with family members yelling and crying loudly, with crowds forming around the caution tape, and fights even breaking out right next to the crime scene.
The screaming and fighting eventually ceased, but no information was released about the victim or a possible motive in today's homicide.
Kee would later explain that this tragic loss was the one that made him start doing music in the first place to try and keep his cousin's name alive.
I had found out my cousin died in Alabama.
Damn.
I just wanted to try to keep his name out there. Cause he got a little brother too. I be talking to his little brother. Trying to make him keep his head up, you know.
He would go on to keep Bam's name alive in his next song titled Hear Me Out, released in January 2020, using his name in the chorus of this song expressing the hurt he's feeling, with this song turning out to be the start of what would look like an unstoppable run for Kee. After only 2 months of making music, Hear Me Out was the song that caught Lil Baby's attention along with millions of listeners. Between the raw, authentic lyrics speaking about his parents not being sober, or him speaking on all the pain he's feeling from what he's been through in life so far, along with the emotion you can feel on the song, made Kee an artist that thousands upon thousands of people can relate to, giving him a fan base right from the start, while also stamping the initial connection of Baby and Kee.
Lil Kee, he actually from Atlanta too. Young dude, like 17 years old. He goes crazy. I'm listening to him too on a daily.
Kee would later talk about this song and what came from it, saying that he had no idea it would be a success, and explains how the song was initially took down due to copyright, along with him not having any knowledge of the music industry.
It was like a couple months after I started rapping.
Yeah.
I ain't know it happened, but that shit happened fast.
Do you know what song caught his attention?
Probably let Hear Me Out. Only had like 1 song, got 2 songs.
For real?
They deleted that shit off YouTube though. The nigga that made the beat, I guess, I ain't by the beat, I ain't know how that worked.
Kee would then follow up on this song with another the next month titled Sacrifice, which also caught Baby's attention, leading him to hop on Twitter and tweet how good the song is. After discovering this raw talent, Lil Baby would start to be seen listening to Kee on multiple occasions, while continuously expressing how good his music is, mainly on his Instagram, with millions of followers seemingly giving Kee's music to his audience to hear before eventually taking the next step and bringing him along on the team.
Bro,
On April 17th, 2020,
Nigga,
Kee's life would change drastically.
I was listening to Lil Kee so much, I don't got nothing to do with this situation. When this shit got posted to Instagram, bro, no funny shit, bro. I reposted this shit, bro. I was just like, bro, I play this shit so goddamn much, bro. Nigga had about 7 songs out. Swear to God, he had about 7 songs. And he got signed, bro. Like, that shit was big, bro. I was fucking with him.
Would be seen inside of his home with a 4PF chain and stacks of money laid out in front of him on the table. This would be the day Baby signed Kee to his 4PF label, placing the label chain around Kee's neck while his unreleased song titled Carousel, which today is at almost 2 million views, is playing in the background as a message to let everyone know he's coming strong in the music industry and to celebrate his life finally changing financially, with hundreds of fans reacting to this chaining day with requests that Kee drops this unreleased song that was heard in the video, really showing that
he did drop the song, but he dropped the shit like 2 years later. Like, bro, what the fuck? Like, bro, come on, man. You gotta...
Before the label, Kee grew a raw, organic fan base really quickly, which would eventually help him in the long run. After signing, Kee would start to be seen in studio sessions with Baby out of town, as well as opening and experiencing sold-out shows with him.
Man, my boy going real deal noodles. Back in set field, man. Don't play with us. Don't play with us.
He would start to be around other artists, like Polo G, and frequently with the 4PF crew. He would also start to be seen wearing $1,000 outfits, and with more artillery than ever. He released his first single under the 4PF label titled By Myself, which is almost at 3 million views today, receiving great feedback from this song, with fans telling him that his career was about to take off, and rightfully so, because it was certainly looking that way.
But I ain't gonna count, bro. Out of everybody that Baby done signed, besides Rollo, I don't feel like Rollo count. There's nobody I feel like could have really did it and really went somewhere like Lil Kee. Like, Kee was like an Atlanta version of YoungBoy on some pain music type shit. He could have did it, bro. Like, you could hear it in his voice. Like, he ain't got no deep monotone voice. Like, you can hear his voice change when he's talking about different topics that hit him a certain type of way. Like,
Put Out was on fire around Atlanta and Georgia in general, reaching out to the rest of the states mainly after he got signed. And it seemed like all he needed now was a smash hit that'll change his status in the music industry and eventually even reevaluate his contract for a better deal. But that's when things took a turn for the worse.
Ooh, I ain't gonna cap. I thought he got signed.
Over the summer of 2020, Lil Kee would let his By Myself single released in spring run up some numbers, with him only releasing 2 notable songs months later in August of 2020, one on World Star Hip Hop and the other as a feature for his label mate, Cold Hearted Savage. It was also around this time where he would start to broadcast his street activities more than usual as well, because in August of 2020, he would go on Instagram Live, previewing some of his music, when he would spot an op in his comments and completely flashed out in front of 400 viewers.
Funny, I shoot you in your shit. Yeah, Rich Queen. Yeah, I'm talking to you, Rich Queen. I shoot you in your shit, boy. Lame ass on my Instagram. I'm on that, boy. I'm gonna shoot you in your shit when I catch you.
Then suddenly, a month later on September 13th, 2020 at 2 a.m., officers were dispatched to reports of shots fired off Belmead Court in Marietta. When officers arrived on the scene, they located a 23-year-old man lying in his bed with several gunshot wounds and pronounced the man deceased on the scene. This 23-year-old man being Lamar Miles, also known as Mar, Lil Kee's older brother. Evidence suggested that the bullets came from outside the house, and reports show that a 22-year-old woman, who was allegedly Lamar's girlfriend, was also grazed in the arm by a bullet and refused to be transported to a hospital, and this case still remains unsolved to this day. The tragic loss was followed by an obituary that states Lamar was survived by his 2 parents, his son Jamar, his girlfriend, brothers, sisters, cousins, grandparents, and more extended family. Now, I want to be clear, the alleged reasoning behind this specific homicide is a sensitive topic and is strictly based off rumors from the streets, with none of these things being proven true as of today, and all info was taken from publicly available sources. But the fact is, theories exist and things were said publicly, so I'm doing my best to report on it while using the word allegedly very heavily. Kee and his brother Lamar are both affiliated with the Payroll Clique, a gang located along Favor Road where they both grew up and was created long before he started rapping. This clique is also known as K4T or Kill for Tana, which consists of multiple sets in one forming a whole. Payroll K4T are beefing with a set called the Mucho Babies, also known as MOB. This set being a group of Sex Money Murder Bloods formed in the South Cobb area, mainly the Whispering Glen neighborhood on Hopkins Road, which is 13 minutes away from Payroll, along with sections in Smyrna and Austell, Georgia as well. The Mucho Babies also have a younger generation hybrid of their clique who goes by Hop Out Gang, or HOG. This younger generation operates on Hopkins Road as well, located in Powder Springs, Georgia, with all of these different locations being only 10 to 20 minutes away from each other, and all located in Cobb County. Hop Out Gang is notoriously responsible for the shooting that took place at McEachern High School in Powder Springs earlier this year on February 1st, when video footage would surface of a brief altercation between multiple people in a school parking lot, when shots would fly from both directions as the students scatter from the area.
They're trying to jump my... You're right. Holding each other's straps.
And the thing about it is, bro, McEachern is like a good school. Like, this is all happening in good areas. Powder Springs, bro. You go to Powder Springs, bro, them neighborhoods, them houses big as hell over there.
2 young men shot in the arm and leg who did not attend this high school, with one of the victims even being charged for possession of a weapon on school property, as well as loitering on school property, even though he was wounded that day. The 2 teens that were arrested for this shooting itself were indeed students at this school, one being 17 years old and the other being 16. These 2 teens are also alleged Hop Out Gang members. But the beef between Payroll and the original set Mucho Babies goes back as far as 2018, where on April 27, 2018, at approximately 6:22 p.m., officers were dispatched to a parking lot on 1750 Bells Ferry Road in Marietta, where they found a 19-year-old man shot outside a convenience store. This 19-year-old man would then be rushed to Kennestone Hospital, where he later succumbed to his injuries.
They are searching for a white car with a spoiler that they say went north on Bells Ferry Road here, and we have also learned that there was a desperate effort to save the life of a young man who had been shot just outside of this storefront. Cell phone video from an employee of a food mart store shows a woman and other people trying to save the victim of a shooting. Ali Raza told us he heard several shots before the man went down.
Suddenly I heard shots like 3 to 4, and when I saw one guy, he laying down outside my store door.
And somebody said the guy was in a car and he just like pulled up to the pump, shot Buddy when he came out of the gas station, and then he just drove off.
Marietta police descended on the crime scene quickly to set up a perimeter. Officers rushed here when someone in one of the businesses called 911 about a man in the parking lot who'd been shot.
He would soon be identified as Tyon Gorman, better known as Miko. Miko was a member of the rival gang Mucho Babies, and word on the streets was that Miko was unalived by a man named DPF Shots, Shots being publicly locked in with Key and the whole payroll crew, and is also a member of a blood set in Cobb County. He allegedly carried out the hit with a 17-year-old man named Jamarcus Wright, also known as Pac-Man. Now, with all this just being a so-called rumor and not proven at all at first, or even a Reddit user writing these names out as the hitters of Miko while posting a screenshot of a PFK member dissing Key, it eventually turned out to not be entirely a rumor after all, as one of the 2 men, Jamarcus, also known as Pac-Man, was arrested and charged with Miko's death a month after it occurred, along with another man named Makai. Shortly after, though, Makai would be released and have the murder charges dropped due to the surveillance footage showing that he couldn't be identified on camera, and even having proof that he was located in Dallas, Georgia, when the homicide happened. Jamarcus, however, would remain in custody for this murder after Makai's charges were dropped as investigation continued, and only 8 months later, in January 2019, this happened.
Cobb and Clayton County investigators and the FBI say they got these 20 dangerous gang members off the streets. They're facing a laundry list of felony charges.
They got hit with a RICO?
120 separate counts of criminal activity.
Now, this is all part of a 9 to 10 month investigation, sparked by 2 murders. Both murders committed by 2 gangs, the 8 gang and also the Bounty Hunters, and they're both subsets of the Notorious Bloods. Investigators say they had to use SWAT team members to hunt them down. Officers say for these gang members, violence, intimidation, and destroying families is their trademark.
Murder, home invasion, ag assaults, armed robbery, and weapons and drugs charges as well.
This multi-agency task force say they are absolutely committed to putting the squeeze on gangs in Metro Atlanta.
If you come here and you commit gang-motivated criminal activity, you will be investigated, you will be arrested, you will be indicted.
And that's the other guy right there?
DPF Shots' real name, Keandre Johnson, and Jamarcus Wright, also known as Pac-Man, were 2 of the 30 people charged in a RICO case in Cobb County, with Jamarcus even having his murder charge on Miko being used to make this RICO charge stick, and DPF Shots only facing theft charges and possession of a weapon by a felon, with no murder charge, all while still under the RICO Act from being a part of the APE blood set, aka all-profit extortion. So like I said, in this particular incident, only one of the 2 men were convicted of Miko's death under the RICO Act. So technically, DPF shots.
Wait, so he
the
got
man publicly
convicted?
affiliated with Lil Kee's crew being involved is just a rumor amongst people online. But it has to make you think. If DPF shots is indicted in the RICO stemming from Miko's death, how much of a rumor or coincidence is it really?
They probably ain't got no evidence
what
on
Miko
him,
and the people
or
who took his life
they got
has to
him
do with
mixed up
Kee
with
or
the other dude, and they don't have no evidence on either one of them. So if they can't identify the dude who was about an hour, 2 hours away, how they gonna be able to identify the shots guy?
brother getting unalived, but let me tell you, it has everything to do with it. After this death stemmed a RICO case in the county, and even with Miko's quote-unquote killer behind bars and things starting to settle down, Kee would start dissing Miko very frequently. He could even be seen 7 days before his brother's death on Instagram Live dissing Miko to the fullest extent, screaming at the camera telling the Mucho babies that it's up with them, and going further saying that they haven't slid for Miko since he's been deceased.
Fuck Mucho, nigga. Fuck all them niggas. It's up. Talk too much. Them niggas talk too much, that's their problem. Man, y'all niggas, it's up. It's up. It's up. It's up. It's up. Nigga, why you asking where I'm at, nigga? Why you asking what? But these niggas better stop playing with me, bro. I'm smoking big Miko. Big niggas. Big up. I'm smoking big up.
With this live taking place only 7 days before his brother's demise, it's one of the reasons.
I'm not gonna cap. This gives a whole different perspective to the story, because I could have sworn his brother got killed before he got signed. I don't know. I'm gonna go off his word, but now everything is kind of starting to make sense.
Many people believe that Kee having a music career and gaining fame while still dissing the ops played a big part of why his brother was unalived. He can also be heard again dissing Miko before Lamar passed, this time on a song with his little brother Man Man that's still unreleased to this day, where he raps that he might post up at the store where Miko died and wait for the ops, and that if God gave Miko a second chance at life again, he would still wish him dead, even going further saying he would do everything that happened over again and put the bullets back in Miko's head. So tracing back the steps to September 13th, 2020, when police were dispatched to the home and found Kee's brother, 23-year-old Lamar, deceased in his bed, this homicide allegedly all stemmed from the death of Miko back in 2018. Many also believe an additional reason for Lamar's death was because he robbed a member of the Mucho babies for $20,000. Kee even allegedly spoke about this in a recent 2024 song he's featured on, where he would state that they tried to hit a lick and lost Lamar after. But there isn't enough information that could help imply that this was even partly true, so I decided to only partially include it. Following the loss of his brother Lamar, Kee would go ghost online for almost 2 weeks, being seen 13 days later with a short but heartfelt message to his brother saying he loves him, with a video of them together taken recently before he passed. He would go on to shoot the music video to a song he already had recorded titled No Love in November of 2020, then releasing a song and visuals with 42 Doug in the early months of 2021. After this, Kee wouldn't upload music for almost a year, more than likely dealing with the loss of his brother and getting more involved in the streets while doing so. He would get arrested in March of 2021 for possession of a firearm without a license, and fast forwarding to January of the next year, 2022, he would drop the most violent song of his career thus far, titled Catch a Murder. Not only being the most violent, this song became his most popular release, with it currently sitting at 20 million views on YouTube and over 3 million streams on Spotify. The mood and lyrics of this song fit the title perfectly, with him starting off asking if you want to catch a murder, going on to explain the steps to do so. He would start dissing the Mucho babies as well by saying he doesn't care if it takes 20 years to unalive them, it's going to happen for certain, going on to say more bold lyrics claiming that he hopes someone's plug puts a deadly drug in their pill and they pass away from it. He would eventually start to talk about the night his brother passed as well, saying, "Innocent little children, they almost shot my lil one," referring to Lamar's son who was in the home when shots came from outside into Lamar's bedroom. He adds that it's almost been a year since his brother passed at the time of this release, and he's still numb to the pain from it, along with any other pain. A common symptom in people who have grief or experience trauma in their life, also known as PTSD. He'd lastly state in this verse that even if he makes $50 million, nothing will make him forget this loss, and he'll still seek revenge over it. The overall lyrics and mood of this song clearly was
song right here, bro, or even just the tape that's later to come. Every single song, it feels like he's talking about his brother, so you know that one hit him hard, bro. And you can only think and you can only feel for him how he really feel. Every time, and in my opinion, bro, it damn near became a part of his personality that his brother passed away. That shit crazy.
Just about the loss of his brother, but majorly a warning to the people responsible for it, the Mucho babies. And it would certainly all unfold in front of the audience's eyes, because an upcoming rapper from the Mucho Babies side named Lil Crank would immediately respond to this viral song. Lil Crank was a close friend to Miko, as they're both from the Mucho Babies, and he could be seen mourning Miko back in 2018 when he passed, and before Crank became a rapper. Crank would respond to this song with a song of his own, seemingly remixing the name, titling it Murder, She Wrote. This response by Crank was made loud and clear to everyone listening, mainly by him actually filming the music video in Kee's neighborhood. He would shoot scenes at the Favor Road corner store inside and outside the store, as well as the Amber Grove apartment complex across the street from Favor Road, which is a known spot for the payroll clique to reside. Him and Mucho would also shoot an ending scene at the taco truck next to the store on Favor Road, telling Kee and payroll to come get some tacos and see what happens.
Y'all niggas never outside.
Aside from the scenery being a very bold choice, the lyrics were definitely bold too, with him starting off the song saying that it won't take them 20 years to get rid of Kee, and that they would do him like the first one, dissing Lamar while speaking on Kee's song when he rapped that he doesn't mind waiting 20 years to get Mucho back. He went on to ask Kee in this song to tell him who he killed, implying that he has no bodies under his belt, while also going on to say that after Miko died he didn't post anything and all he did was slide. Kee wouldn't respond to this song publicly, or ever say Crank's name publicly still to this day, likely not wanting to get this song any more attention with his name than it already gained, even with Crank continuously dissing him and his deceased brother in multiple songs, using the term Freddy Krueger to describe how Lamar was unalived in his sleep.
I'm a Ruger Freddy Krueger here, get you in your dream.
Following his trending song release though, Kee would...
I was gonna say something, but the information started coming so fast, I lost it. Holy fuck. So Miko passes away. They dissing, they talking, this, that, and the third on Instagram, going back and forth. Kee starts dropping more music after his cousin dies and he gets signed. He's rapping, his brother passes away. Supposedly to the same people who they took Miko from. And now they rap beefing.
To plan his first album release with the help of Lil Baby, as Baby could be seen previewing the track list for Kee's album on his Instagram, showing features like Lil Durk, 42 Doug, Big 30, and even Baby himself. This track list title would be previewed and released as Letter to My Brother, dedicated to his brother Lamar. Following this album release, it would perform exceptionally well, reaching number 20 on Apple Music Top Albums and reaching 60 million total streams in the first month's performance alone, with the help of his smash hit Catch a Murder. He would follow up on this successful release with 2 music videos, one being to his song dedicated to his brother having the same name as the album, the other being a music video with Lil Baby to their song titled What You Saying that currently sits at 10 million views. After these types of numbers, you would think Kee was on pace to becoming one of the biggest freshmen in the rap game, with his streams being in comparison with artists that have already been in the game for a while and surpassing the majority of other freshmen out at this time. But that's when things would once again, after another rise, take a turn for the worse. The 4PF label that Kee signed to under Lil Baby was created by the successful artist in attempts to give rappers that came up like him a better start than they'd have with major labels, planned out to give the upcoming artist a small advance, whilst allowing their music to gain traction to eventually get in a better deal and owe less money. The first artist signed to this label was Rilo Rodriguez, who in Baby's words took a chance on him, and was the one that even brought the idea to light.
Rilo was on some, like, I don't want to sign nobody but Baby, but I won't even signing people.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he down there, Rilo down there made me create a label.
Baby would also speak about how his 4PF crew started out as just him and the quote-unquote gang.
But 4PF was always just me and the gang, like me and the bros.
Him saying this will play a very important role very shortly. Months after signing Rilo, Baby would reach out and sign Lil Kee along with 3 other Atlanta artists such as Nuda05, Dirty Tay, and Cold Hearted Savage. But only 2 years after starting the 4PF music group, another Atlanta-based record label, YSL, would be hit with a Georgia State RICO case, leaving rap superstar Young Thug in jail being tried as the head of the organization, which led to a lengthy problematic trial that's still going to this day, while turning the millionaire rapper's life completely upside down. The main allegations in this trial are that Young Thug's YSL is a street gang that uses earnings from Thug's music to fund the criminal organization, while Young Thug's defense is maintaining that YSL is certainly not a gang, putting his freedom even more on the line by taking the case to trial. Now for Baby, Young Thug is one of his closest friends even before he fully got into music, with them being locked in from the streets of Atlanta years prior, But Baby wouldn't have much time to feel sad for Thug or just watch from the sideline, because only 2 days after YSL's May 9th takedown, the Georgia Investigation Bureau would have a document leaked showing the list of criminal street gangs that are under investigation in Atlanta. These said gangs included the already indicted YSL, and to an almost certainly heart-dropping discovery for Baby, the list also included his 4PF or 4 Pockets full label as a street gang. Not only did the feds have 4PF on paper, there were also several deadly events taking place in Atlanta involving Baby's own artists, like on April 28, 2022, which is only 2 weeks prior to the document leak. 4PF artist Cold Hearted Savage would be performing at a nightclub in LaGrange, Georgia, when a member in his crew, later identified as Nasir Calvin, was shot in the head during a drive-by shooting outside of the club. Nasir was driven an hour away to Grady Hospital, where he later passed away.
Atlanta police say someone drove a gunshot victim to Grady Hospital.
This event right here was kind of confusing because why I guess I don't know if they didn't want to be caught up at the hospital around them or what it was, but Grady's a great hospital. If you have a trauma patient, Grady will save your life for sure. You feel me? But to drive that person an hour in hopes to make it to Grady, like, that shit was wild, bro. And then this just goes to show you that there's a lot of things that can go wrong when you on your way to the riches, but you got to find a way to push through. And I'm not saying that he should just let what happened or his brother passing, you know what I'm saying, like not give it the energy that it deserves. But man, it's tricky when you trying to climb your way to the top.
Over an hour from away in LaGrange, that victim not surviving. Atlanta police have now confirmed the shooting happened on Lafayette Parkway overnight Saturday into Sunday. The victim is an 18-year-old man. Now, we're told he had been in LaGrange with musical performers Cold Hearted Savage and others. They were performing at Club True. Police say Cold Hearted Savage is employed by the 4PF music label, which is reportedly associated with criminal street gangs in Atlanta.
And one thing, another thing, if you're not in like Georgia, Atlanta area, you wouldn't really know this. I don't know why, but like LaGrange always is booking like the local rappers. Like they'll book a We Too Hard, they'll book an Anti the Minutes, a Lil Tony. They not too tough getting booked in the city unless it's for like a college-ish party. But I don't know what it is about LaGrange, but them folks is always booking these type artists.
Artists being named in the headline of a shooting, the media started connecting 4PF to any street activities the artists are in, seemingly painting the picture of 4PF being a gang, or in this case, painting it as this shooting being retaliation on 4PF. But the label's run-ins with the law wouldn't stop there, because only 3 months later on August 19th, 4PF artist Dirty Tay was arrested and charged with firing into a car and striking a 3-year-old boy in the head. Police reports say a Kia pulled up next to another car on Peters Street, and Dirty Tay opened fire from the passenger's seat, striking a 3-year-old boy who was riding in the back seat in the head. The child was taken to the hospital in critical condition, where he thankfully survived his injuries. Headlines on this arrest would show that Dirty Tay is signed to and employed by 4PF, labeling him as Lil Baby's artist as well. Baby could even be seen in a 2020 video almost begging Dirty Tay to take rap more serious, with Dirty Tay responding that he doesn't want to be a rapper, and his friends claiming that Tay had taken a bad pill.
So you don't want to be no rapper, huh? Yeah, I want to. You trying to tell big bro, cool bro, check that man in. Say what? You don't want to be no rapper because what play?
And this is what they won't play in court though. On my soul, they'll never play this shit in court. Yo, lawyer, bro, I ain't gonna count whoever, baby. You know what I'm saying? You probably dealing with bigger things. You probably just praying and hoping that your time don't come. But this need to be in the hands of your lawyer for shit show. I'm trying to tell you, like, he trying to push him to become a rapper before he do that dumbass shit. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Dirty Tay, you know what I'm saying? He, in my opinion, the other artists that Baby signed, the Dirty Tays, the Noodles, they was not on the level of Lil Kee. I didn't see it happening for him, man. I fuck with Noodle. Noodle hard too, though. Don't you see? Like, that motherfucker hard. But I just felt like Lil Kee could be a King Von for Lil Baby. You know what I'm saying? Like, not necessarily like King Von himself, but that kind of second in command who can hold his own weight. I felt like that what Lil Kee could have been. But for whatever reason, everything that was going on in his life, man, it was just too much. His focus was on other things.
Like that. You say you don't want to be no rapper because what? She really good.
This nigga having a real deal conversation with him, money on the floor.
I'm telling you, you need to go to a doctor.
So things certainly weren't looking too good for Baby or his label. From being named as a gang under investigation by the feds after seeing Young Thug be indicted for the same charge, to half of his artists making the news connecting the label to street activities publicly, all in the span of 3 months. But even with all this negative attention, Kee wouldn't make the label look any better. He would start to be seen more frequently on Instagram Live, giving off real dark energy, or more specifically, energy that he wanted to kill, going against his post made months before, claiming that he was no longer speaking about any negativity. He started to be seen often wearing masks, gloves, and even equipped with weapons that have shell catchers on them. He got on live one night, in the following months of the 2 arrests, where he's seen previewing music while flexing submachine guns. He would then spot a op in the comments being disrespectful and discrediting his rank in the streets, which led him to describe to his ops and the viewers the things that he's really been doing lately.
This nigga not like that. Nigga, we just let your hood took a picture at your mailbox. Take the up. Get down. You ain't never walking on by the porch, knock on their door and blow that shit down. Shut the fuck up. You can't tell me nothing.
Alright, let me go one more time. Hey, no auto-tune.
We take pictures in your hood like we from in Glen. We take on your door like what you saying. Boom.
Come out of the club with a Dre trying to eat his face.
We take pictures in the hood. We take pictures in your hood like we from the Glen.
Soon after this live, Kee would take to his story a picture of a firearm with a twin drum magazine that holds 100 rounds, stating that he loves his gun, followed up by a picture of a $50 bill covered in a red substance, which many believe to be blood. These 2 posts also left many to believe that Kee was implying he just got out of a shootout, even making it to the Atlanta Reddit page, with one Redditor reacting to it saying that Kee should be following Lil Baby's footsteps to get rich and leave the streets behind. Another Redditor would reply to the
niggas tell my big brother, I ain't leaving shit till I stand on business. That PTSD real, but shout it to internet, he gotta chill. That's a fact. Because and everybody would love to say, man, if I was in Lil Kee position, man, I would have let that shit go. If I was in Lil Kee position, bro, I would have just stayed busy. I would have stayed in the studio. Yes and no. Everybody different, bro. Like, for instance, the Lil Baby interview with Vlad, when he was like, man, if somebody was to do something to my mama, I'm not going to the police. I'm finna go find his mama. That's how some people gonna handle it. Some people gonna go to the police. Some people gonna be somewhere in the middle. You feel me? But I feel a majority of the people gonna be on either side. You either gonna be all the way police or you gonna be in the streets. Now, ideally, you would have had the money, you would to protect the bag, the people around you would have stood on business. But as you hear in a couple songs that he say, when my brother died, ain't nobody want to slide. So then you like, okay, he felt like he got to take it into his own hands. But you need to kill these folk with this success. Like, that's the thing that I feel like people in the streets can't really see. Like, nigga, you got $100 million nigga coming to pick you up and giving you a chance to change your life, your family life, get your mama out the hood, get your folks out the hood. You got a daughter. Like, it's shit bigger than how you feel about a situation. And, man, just to be all the way honest, bro, like, he ain't coming back, bro. Yeah, you can make them niggas bleed. Yeah, you can make them niggas cry. But at the end of the day, bro, you still gonna feel that same pain when you think about your brother. It's a fact, bro. That initial hurt that you feel, even if we take it on a lower level and say like, okay, the person that you dealing with cheated on you, the pain and hurt that you feel, and you doing something back to them, it ain't gonna feel the same, bro. It may be okay for a week or 2 or a month, but overall, that shit ain't finna get rid of that pain that you felt. You gotta do something to do that. For you. And killing somebody is not gonna ease your pain. It's not. We know that. And that's why you see the cycle continue and never stop, because niggas can't let certain shit go. Even to the point where it was like he was dissing on those people before his brother even passed away. And nigga, you signed, you rapping, but you still in the hood and on Instagram Live dissing people. Like, man, if you got an opportunity that niggas will literally die for, they'll do whatever to get in your position, and you threw that shit away. Now, yeah, you were dealing with trauma, you was dealing with pain, PTSD, and you was mourning. But when niggas take a step back and they look at what could have been, they gonna say, man, he threw that shit away. They ain't gonna be talking about, oh yeah, his brother this, that, and the third, and yeah, everything that people talk about, everything that people got to say don't matter. But in the bigger picture, this was a lost opportunity.
Comments saying that they understand why Kee is the way he is, despite having so much opportunity in front of him. That losing a brother, especially in the way he did, leaves people with pain and trauma, which often leads to seeking revenge and not worrying about any important parts of life. And sadly, it would be this pain that stripped Kee of arguably the greatest opportunity of his life thus far. Kee released a music video to another song off his album titled Feelings Everywhere in the same summer of 2022, which would turn out to be the last song he would release for the 4PF label, or any label at all, as Lil Baby in early January 2023 would end his 4PF label and replace it in a partnership with Motown Records, rebranding the name to CBFW, or Can't Be F***ed With. With the launch of this new label, he re-signed Rilo Rodriguez publicly the first day, keeping the promise he made to him when he originally signed years prior. But what would this mean for Kee and the other artists? Well, with nearly half his artists getting headlines in the news, and especially the Rico talks in the air.
I think the only reason why Baby is mentioning me so much is he is shook of the Rico, nigga. Real rap. The Rico is coming. That nigga heard 4PF, and now he rapping at a nigga who he knows is not in the streets, because he got some street shit that he could be talking about.
Lil Baby decided not to bring along the majority of his former artists. This included the now incarcerated Dirty Tay, Cold Hearted Savage, and also Lil Kee.
Cold Hearted Savage still be with Baby, whether he signed or not, it doesn't really matter, because Cold Hearted Savage is not a fucking rapper. Like, he just one of the guys who decided to pick up a mic or decided to start doing this and that, but that nigga's not no rapper, bro. And the thing that I will say is that just on people in general, we got to stop saying, oh yeah, he was a rapper because he released a rap song. That don't make you no rapper. Oh, I uploaded one YouTube video, I'm a YouTuber. No, just because you read one book don't make you a book reader. You feel what I'm saying? Like, come on, bro. We got to stop doing that, and we throwing around these titles a little bit too loosely.
Notable thing about Lil Kee in his career so far is that he definitely has a huge organic fan base, but at the same time, him having no label behind him also means no promotion of his music, no funding, no future touring, less industry connections, and much more. For the music side of things, Kee definitely didn't give up music after his release. He went on to drop a mixtape in March of 2023, which included features like ESTG, Rilo, and Nuda 05. This tape was released on YouTube, and 5 of the 11 songs from the tape hit over 1 million views on just the audios alone, really showing the authentic.
Like I said, you got to think about it too. Your music is good, you doing well, with or without the label help. But I'm trying to stay out of legal trouble. I'm trying to dodge these charges, and you on Instagram Live crashing out. Who the fuck want to crash out on their label? Not only are you bringing negative attention, but if you get locked up, what, you want me to pay for your lawyer? You're not going to the studio. You're not dropping no music. But I'm supposed to be in your corner and just stay down until you figure out what you want to do. Fuck that. I need niggas. You gonna want people around you who know what they want, who know where they going, and got their head on straight. And just honestly speaking, bro, Lil Kee was not that. Like, it was just like, he was too distracted.
Fan base that he has, just like the day he was initially signed to the label, and how that initial authentic connection that fans had to his music would eventually help him in the long run, which it certainly has. Every feature Kee's been on since leaving 4PF does 100,000 views on average. He started doing lots of features this past year as one of his ways to make money from his music independently, with majority of these features being for local artists, and all still doing exceptionally well numbers with him on the song. But the release from the label surely wouldn't lead him to strictly focus on music, because he's now seemingly more involved in the streets than ever. He was seen earlier earlier this year at the store where Miko died, trolling and reenacting the scene of his demise. Also being seen on Instagram posted on his block with guns in his hands, and even posting an op on his story claiming that he's smoking on him before the man is even deceased, seemingly letting everyone know that soon the man will be dead. This behavior would make his fans start to question why he's doing this and why he can't just focus on music, with the same answer eventually coming back again and again, that the loss of his brother changed everything for Kee. This type of situation hits different for fans that sat and watched the whole thing happen, because with many knowing how great Kee's music is, it can be hard to understand why he is basically still 10 toes in the streets. He would even rap on a recent feature release titled Slime Status that he was 18 when he went on a drill, and even though he signed a deal, he still loves the street life. On this same verse, he'd continue dissing Miko again, saying that he heard the story of how he died and sent a hit making his lil bro slide. But the public display of street and gang activity wouldn't stop there, because just 8 months ago in January, a Mucho Babies member named J5 passed away in a car accident. Following his passing, Kee went live again on Instagram, where he can be seen listening to Youngboy while getting highly disrespectful towards J5 and the Mucho Babies.
Pussy out here though with that stick, he come do shit. J5. Smoking J5. You know it. Done told on my blonde. No, we on. Hold on one time. Smoke on J5, yeah, you know it. Yeah. J5, bitch.
Niggas in the comments, laugh emojis and this, that, and the third. And I just want this to be one of the ones that show y'all, like, bro, the fans ain't necessarily with y'all, bro. Real talk, like, you could say this, you could do that, but at the end of the day, my nigga, you gotta do certain shit for you, and you gotta keep this shit off the internet, bro. They laughing at your pain.
Kee even liked J5's last Instagram post, trolling his ops again and again, seemingly getting joy and enthusiasm from them passing away. Ultimately, Kee gave up the rap star industry life to live more of a street life, it seems, which is sad to see when he has a huge fan base and makes great music. But from him going live injured in hospitals, to him appearing with casts on his hand implying he was likely in a shootout, all while his most recent songs are combined for millions of views, it seems as if his mind is still trying to juggle music and the streets at once, which very often leads to one of two things: jail or death. And from the outside looking in, you can only have opinions, of course, but this story has been heard many times in the case of artists coming from bad situations, and I hope Kee can find his way back to the passionate artist that the world saw in his early days making music, maybe using the loss of his brother Lamar as even more fuel to strive for something greater, just like he did when his cousin Bam passed and he strived to make music and keep his name alive.
And with that being said, man, that's gonna wrap up that video, but I like what he touched on right here at the end when he was like, it could lead you both ways, bro. And I genuinely wish that Lil Kee would have put more effort and energy into his music, because he was one of those ones, like, he was one of them shining stars that you could look at and you could be like, that nigga gonna be big, bro. Like, I really feel like on some young boy shit, like, he could have been that. You know what I'm saying? But he felt like that was more important. He felt like he got to do what he got to do for his brother who gone. And instead of making the money and making sure the family's safe and moving his folks around and this and that, he doing the same shit he was doing when he didn't have no money. Except for now you got money to buy artilleries and maybe pay for somebody else to go slide or whatever, you know? So with that being said, that's going to be the story of Lil Kee, man. He crashed out, really. Still doing a little here and there, but I feel like that's only to survive. I don't necessarily feel like he wanted it as much as it may seem, and it's wicked, but at the end of the day, that's what it is, man. Like, comment, subscribe, get in that comment box. Tell me how you felt about this video and what you think. Did Lil Kee crash out, or is he just handling business for his brother? And that business is worth more than a potential rap career, making millions. Y'all get in the comment box, y'all let me know. It's your boy Kee checking in, checking out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We gone.